Today's unlawful physical attack on United States Senator Alex Padilla by the totally unprofessional and incompetent federal agents who did that came after Donald Trump completely surrendered on his promise to deport 15 million people. The central lie of Donald Trump's deportation campaign promise came apart today when Donald Trump himself decided to agree with Senator Alex Padilla and agree with every Democrat in the House and Senate and agree with Kamala Harris and agree with Joe Biden that, of course, we should never be arresting and deporting the hardworking people who harvest our food in this country, the hardworking people who make our clothes in this country, the hardworking people who make the beds in the hotels where those ICE agents sleep when they're out there hunting the families of those people who make their beds. Donald Trump put his surrender in writing at 9:43 a.m. today, saying, our great farmers and people in the hotel and leisure business have been stating that our very aggressive policy on immigration is taking very good longtime workers away from them, with those jobs being almost impossible to replace. We must protect our farmers, but get the criminals out of the USA. Changes are coming, ! So Donald Trump promised to deport every one of those people working on farms, every one of them. He promised to deport all of them. And then he decided not to deport them today. Donald Trump promised to deport 15 million people. That would include everyone who is working in those fields, harvesting the food, making beds in hotels, everyone. And now that Donald Trump has finally decided to listen to the owners of those industries, he's not going to deport 15 million people. He's not going to deport 1 million people. It's over. The mass deportation lie that he never could have done anyway is over, and Donald Trump formally, publicly gave up today. According to Donald Trump today, all of those people can stay. Millions and millions and millions of them can stay. All the hardworking people with jobs can stay. That's most of the people who are here without documents. All the people who Senator Padilla knows feel threatened tonight, all of them can stay. According to Donald Trump this morning, they can now stay. And then, in Donald Trump's typically incoherent, mental acuity challenged way, later in the day, Donald Trump said this.
Our farmers are being hurt badly by, they have very good workers. They've worked for them for 20 years. They're not citizens, but they've turned out to be, great. And we're going to have to do something about that. We can't take farmers and take all their people and send them back because they don't have maybe what they're supposed to have, maybe not. And you know what's going to happen and what is happening? They get rid of some of the people because, you go into a farm and you look and people they've been there for 20, 25 years and they've worked great and the owner of the farm loves them and everything else. And then you're supposed to throw them out. And you know what happens? They end up hiring the people, the criminals that have come in, the murderers from prisons and everything else. So we're going to have an order on that pretty soon, I think. We can't do that to our farmers and leisure too, hotels.
He's only worried about the farmers and the owners of the hotels. He's not worried about the immigrants. So far, he's only going back on his word because it's going to hurt the industry that these people are working in. And Lawrence O'Donnell thinks that's a victory for the Republicans to move over to the Democrats' way of thinking and saying, yeah, let's let them come into the country and exploit them and pay them less. And then admit that they've been working for me for 20 and 25 years for peanuts, and that you ain't going to ever make it even. You ain't going to ever make it right. Now that the United States government has said, okay, it's okay to exploit these people, you're going to just continue and probably double down. If any of you guys have an understanding of how our workers' comp system in this country works, in any state, for a person who is here legally, for a person who has a job and gets injured on it, what do you think it's like for an illegal immigrant? What do you think it's like when doing repetitive manual labor causes you wrist, neck, back, leg, hip, ankle, or any other walking on uneven surfaces, bending and standing, doing all kind of things that over the course of time, and he just admitted 20 to 25 years of a good employee. Well, of course they're a good employee. You've been underpaying them. You've been abusing them. They probably ask for days off and you'd be like, no, we got to get these strawberries picked. No, we got to get this done. And they're like, okay. And they're probably good workers and they don't want to be any kind of a trouble. So they come on in and do their thing. So everybody seems to be advocating for the illegal immigrant when truly this fascist society is advocating for the owners of the farms, the owners of the hotels, the owners of the meat packaging plants. See, he only said like hospitality and well, what do you do when you get to the people who are canning our food and they're illegal immigrants, or the ones who work on these compounds down south where there's thousands of them in there just brought over just to process the food for the United States. Tyson Foods and all these big conglomerates bring in illegal immigrants and abuse them and straight out abuse them. Can you imagine having a whole workforce of illegal immigrants? Most of them been working for you for a few years and you've never had a full conversation with them because they don't even speak English. And if they do, they avoid you. They just come in, do their job, go home, just the way you like it. Any problems, you go and yell at all of them. Hey, somebody's been blah, 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 and fix it. And it better not happen again or you're out of here. And they like, oh, shit. And they fix it. No issues, no problems, no injuries, no reports. Things that normal managers in the United States have to deal with, you don't have to deal with it because you're abusing a class of people and making it like you're doing them a favor. Oh, they wanted to come over here. That doesn't make it okay. That doesn't justify it. We need to be more decent. After being a country built on slavery, we should not be into business of exploiting anybody anymore ever. And those who we have exploited, we need to get them right. We're just willing to keep doubling down on abuse and exploitation and allowing, even though you might really have a good idea bringing people over here to process your foods and make the beds in your hotel and clean your rooms and any job that the minimum wage or the going rate, in your opinion, in that industry is too much. And the way around it is to bring in illegal people and hire them. And that's just not acceptable. And it can't be. How many times can you say it in so many different ways until it makes sense? The Democrats and the Republicans are wrong on this because they are both siding with the owners of the company and the corporations and the farmers, but not the people who are out there really doing the labor and who really may not be getting the breaks that they are due, and who may be suffering from illnesses that have come from working in those fields or in those industries. And then what happens? Who takes care of them? Very, very sad that we are willing, and Lawrence O'Donnell is willing to make any Democrat watching feel relieved that now Donald Trump agrees with you. So we were right. No, you still weren't right. It's just that Donald Trump agrees with you, which really should make you even more concerned. But he's trying to make you feel now that Trump's coming over to our side, Steve, he has to wave the white flag. And no, it just means that these people haven't changed. They are still into abuse and domination and colonization type attitudes and ways worldwide. Almost everything we talk about is about that because that's what they're doing. They're running the world the same way they ran the world 200 years ago. It's just certain things that have to change. They can't go and have plantations full of slaves anymore. But what is allowed in this life? What is allowed in these times? Exploitation of illegal immigrants. And in some countries, they can go even further with it. And there can be harsher than what the United States is doing to the people coming up from south of the border. There are people in the United States who would do those jobs, but the wages have to be appropriate. The working conditions have to be safe. Every job that the illegal immigrants are doing, there are people here who will do those jobs, but not for that money. And that's the problem. And rather than the government getting involved and punishing these companies for making it so attractive for these people to come over, they get over here with the and say, yeah, you're doing a good job. And he's a good guy. 20 years working under the table, working with no raises, working with probably through holidays. And that's what we're going to land on. And that's the kind of stuff. See how the Democrats and the Republicans can agree on some things, but immigration reform, they can't. Make immigrant, because they know if those people become citizens, they're going to show up at work and they ain't going to want the same money. They're going to want something different. And both of our political parties are on the same team on this one, and I think it's horrible.
We can't do that to our farmers. He was doing it to the farmers. So Donald Trump just learned that today. What everyone has been saying for years and years and years in defense of those people who Donald Trump was calling murderers and rapists. Everything we've been saying, I guess, has finally sunk in with Donald Trump, the slowest and stupidest president in history. Donald Trump says that some of those people have worked there 20 years, 25 years. Donald Trump now says they're great. Donald Trump says the owners of the farms love them. Donald Trump says we can't send the...
They don't love them. If that rate went up, that hourly rate went up, you see how much they love them. Why do you have to hire somebody and exploit them to love them, to have warm feelings toward them? If the farmers and the business owners weren't beating these people down the way they are, would they love them? And what's wrong with him? Love them. That ain't love. That's abuse. And it's terrible for him to be so close in the thinking of a person like Donald Trump and try to pretend he's the polar opposite. He's not. He's way closer to what Donald Trump would like to do to these people than what needs to really be done to these people, what really needs to happen to these people. Make them United States citizens, all of them. I ain't got no problem with that. Let them go to work and make a proper wage for things that are essential. Picking the fruit, picking the vegetables, processing and canning the food products, working in meat processing plants. That's a lot. And it should be a high paying job and a job that is revered and not something that you just throw to someone who you allow to sneak into the country so that you can keep them under some level of control by making them feel like they owe you something, making them feel like, wow, the United States let me in and they're not even really bothering me. Yeah, because they're abusing you.
Back because they don't have maybe what they're supposed to have. Oh, yeah, that may be what they're supposed to have document. That's no problem now. That is exactly why Donald Trump has been deporting everyone he has deported so far this year, is because maybe they don't have what they're supposed to have in legal documentation to be here. Donald Trump doesn't care about any of that anymore. The stupidest man in the room finally realizes that Democrats are completely right about this and always have been.
So he's admitting that the Democrats are cool for letting it go on even beyond now with allowing illegal immigrants into the country and working them for less than you should be and abusing them and not giving them the rights that regular workers in the United States. Yet they're working in the United States, but they got to be in the shadows. Why not bring them out of the shadows? Why not make them legal, Democrats and Republicans? It's so weird to me that you guys have finally settled on something that you agree on and you're gloating about it, that Donald Trump has come over to you guys' side. See, now he sees it our way. It's terrible.
But that admission by Donald Trump, that huge surrender today by Donald Trump, is now overshadowed tonight by what the stupidest Secretary of Homeland Security in history did to Senator Alex Padilla today. What Donald Trump said today is not going to make one person in this country feel safer tomorrow. Not one person picking strawberries in California is going to feel safer tomorrow because Donald Trump said they can stay. They can stay now. They can stay forever. And they won't feel safer because they've all seen what happened to a United States senator today. And Senator Padilla is right. It's not about him. It's about all of us. We are all Alex Padilla tonight. Any one of us could be the next one on the floor in handcuffs in the ragingly thuggish, unconstitutional government now run by the stupidest, most dangerous president this country has ever had to endure.
Those are some harsh words. I feel that Alex Padilla's little incident, getting tackled and roughed up by the police there, that's how the police are in this country. That's how they're trained up to act when they're dealing with regular citizens. They probably misunderstood who he was and was like, who is this mom? We told you to get out of here. And he's still standing there talking. That's what politicians do. And police slam people to the ground and put handcuffs on them. That's what they do. They tell you to start walking and you still talking, you about to get beat down. That's how it is. And they act like that's so unprecedented, or because it happened to Alex Padilla, it is what it is. We need to start making these people be accountable to us. And if we have to accept the illegal immigrants into our country, we don't have to accept them in as illegal immigrants. Make them citizens of the United States. Give them their citizenship. Give them their right to work so that it will cost these corporations the proper amount of money to run. And they can't be ripping people off. I mean, if they could rip off the farms and the places where these avocados are being grown, if they don't own the land and do this, they would. They want the cheapest and most inexpensive way that will make their business just boom, no matter who they hurt in the process. And the United States government is being complicit. These workers don't get medical benefits. They're doing labor. They need medical benefits. Your hand begins to hurt after doing repetitive labor work. Your neck, your back, all that. It could be mental. That needs to be looked at too. Nobody's never looked at the mental issues with field workers, with hotel workers, with the things they have to endure and see and go through. Hey, it needs to be looked at. It may be nothing there, but at least we know we got all our bases covered and we don't have people being just exploited to that degree and our government being okay with it. And the president of the United States sitting there saying, yeah, I was contacted by the farmers and the hotel industry, and they told me that you deporting these folks is horrible. So what's he going to do? Stop it. But these people were running around from him and saying, hey, this is horrible. Leave us alone. Let us stay. And he pursued. And that's what the Democrats are the same way. Y'all can stay, but you ain't going to have the same rights as the rest of these citizens. You're going to be second-class citizens. You're going to have to remember that you got to stay in your place and you got to stay in that line and you got to get underpaid. And if you ever complain, if you ever have any kind of an issue, then we step in. And if you've proven yourself to be worthy of being the second-class citizen that the United States needs to process its food supply, then we'll probably get you off the hook. But if not, you're out of here. I mean, I don't know. I just feel both sides are just as guilty on this one. It's a terrible thing. And they line up a whole lot more than they like to admit, which is another very hurtful part of the thing that goes on with this duopoly. Like, comment, share, and please subscribe. And we'll see you on the next Black Popcorn.